Welcome to the Blackboard Ultra training series. This is a production of the Office of Distance Education at Auburn University at Montgomery. In this video, you will learn how to access and navigate your course. First, to get to your course, you'll want to point the browser of your choice to bblearn.aum.edu. Depending on your course, one browser might work better than another. Google Chrome tends to be a fairly reliable browser. So if you have any difficulties in accessing Blackboard's website, you might want to try a different browser. So begin by inserting your username and password, the ones that you use for all systems at AUM, and then proceed to signing in. The first time you access Blackboard, it will tell you that you are now in the Ultra environment, so it will welcome you and tell you that Blackboard Ultra has a sleek new design that's meant to be very easy for you to navigate, very simple and fun to use. You won't lose your place in Blackboard Ultra because content opens in a layer that slides out and you can easily go back and forth in between layers. And finally, your work is safe here because Blackboard Ultra automatically saves your work as you create it. So then let's get started. And when you first access Blackboard Ultra, you will land on the institutional page. So if you look at the vertical menu on the left-hand side, the purple line indicates where you currently are inside of the menu. So any communication shared with the entire AUM community will appear on this page. Next is where you find your own profile. This is where you can make some modifications, and most importantly, we recommend that you take a few minutes to set up your notifications so that you find that sweet spot between getting the right information at the right time but not getting overwhelmed by notifications and getting notified. So take a few moments to go through your options. Activity Stream is the place where you see what's new in the courses that you're currently taking. Courses is the place you will find yourself most often because evidently this is where courses live. You will find each course in a line, or a box if you would. So this is the course that we will be using today for training purposes. You can also view courses as a grid, and this is another way to access the exact same course. So you might like to view these more, beautiful icons, or you might be content to seeing these boxes. In any case, both are the exact same thing. To keep a course in your favorites so that you don't have to scroll through a long list if you do have a long list, you could click the star, and now that course became part of your favorites. It will stay at the top. If your program uses organizations, this is where you will find the Blackboard organizations in which you have been enrolled. If your faculty members set due dates within Blackboard Ultra, those due dates will automatically appear in this calendar, and you can see a schedule view or a due date view. So due date tells us that right now there are no items due, and you can navigate in various ways. So take a few minutes to play around and get a sense for how the calendar works. Any messages that you receive in the various courses in which you are enrolled will appear here. Grades is where you can see your collective grades across your current courses. And again, if you're part of an organization that uses grades, this is where all of your grades will be visible. And at the bottom right corner, you can click View All Work to see what all is waiting for you to do in various courses. And finally, take a few moments at your convenience to go through the tools options and familiarize yourself with what is located here. Whenever you're ready to leave Blackboard, you would push Sign Out. So now for the next part of our training, let's navigate within a course. To access a course, you would simply click its name. If you choose to be in this view, you could click anywhere and enter the course. The first thing you see are the latest announcements. So, for example, in this course, we have an announcement welcoming us to Math 101 and giving us information about how to get started. So to view more details, we can go to that particular announcement, or we can click View All Announcements. So let's go see that announcement in more details. Most likely in every single one of your courses, you will encounter a welcome to the course type announcement from your faculty member advising you how to get started. In this case, the faculty member is telling us to go to the Start Here tab. So here is the Start Here tab. Before we get into the course, let's just get our bearings. So let's look at the vertical left-hand side menu first. At the top, you see the name of the course. If your course has only one instructor, you will see their information here. In our case, there are multiple instructors. Then within the menu, the first available option is to see the roster, basically to see who else is in the course. So those are the students in this course. Next, you can see the course description. This is just a sample course created by the Office of Distance Education for training purposes. Next, you have Blackboard Collaborate, which is a tool allowing you to have a live audio-video exchange with your faculty member and class. This is where you could also do a screen share. So for example, if at any point you work within a group, you and your group could create a Blackboard Collaborate session if your faculty member has enabled that capability, and then you could collaborate through that session. In classes that take attendance, you can view your attendance here. In classes that have groups, you can see your groups here. So, for example, the student preview user that we're using for this training is part of group 1, and the group is comprised of 3 students. So however your faculty member sets up groups, this is where you would find your particular group and any work assigned to your group. Then announcements. You can view any past announcements. The most current announcement will appear at the top. And finally, you have a list of books and tools. So this is where you can take some time, play around, and see what tools may be beneficial to you and your particular preferred learning style. Now that we've exhausted the vertical left-hand side menu, let's move to the horizontal top side menu. This is a shortcut to the course content, which is the main part of the course. If you wanted to jump to the course calendar, you would click here. And again, you have various ways of navigating the calendar. And if at any point you have any questions, click the question mark, and that will take you to Blackboard Help. And if there is a problem with your Blackboard session, you can then debug that session. Next, if you wanted to send a message to anyone in the course, you would go to the messages menu, which looks like an envelope. And to create a message, you would click plus, and then find the recipient. So for example, I want to send a message to student 1. And you would type your message here and push send. If you wanted your colleague to also be notified with an email, you could check that box. And now this message will not only go out to your colleague through Blackboard's messages feature, but it will also be emailed to your colleague. And all you have to do is push send. Discussions is in the middle. This is where you will find all the discussions for your course. Typically, you will find a questions and answers form in your course, and you will also see some kind of ice-breaking activity for week 1, typically an introduction. Finally, the gradebook allows you to see all the work that will be graded in your course, allows you to see your performance as well as your status relative to the due date. And if your faculty member leaves any feedback, that's where the feedback will appear. So with this, let's return to the course content. And this concludes the training about navigation. In the next video, we are going to look at course content and the various learning modules within a course.